Hey friends, Mike here at Guitar Tricks, back with part 2 of our 5-day practice series. We're going to do a 30-minute workout example practice session, hopefully sharpen your skills and give you some ideas to add some things into your own practice routine. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. And while you're at it, hit that like button. It would really help out. Now, back to the lesson. All right, so our first 5 minutes is our chromatic warm-up, just to get loose on the fretboard. We're going to do a variation of what we did in day 1. So we're going to start on the low string, 8th fret with your pinky, going down to the 7th fret with your ring finger, middle finger on the 6th fret, index on the 5th. Once again, down, up, picking, and we're going to go up the strings. So aim to be nice and even with it. Go as slow as you need to have it be super clean and every note ringing out nicely. Once you get to the top, move up 1 fret and come down the strings. All right, and just keep going up and down those strings, up the fretboard for 5 minutes. Get those fingers loose. All right, so our next 10-minute chunk is going to be on chord changes. So I'm going to pick a couple chords, whether it be from a song that I'm working on or something like that, where I notice that I'm not as strong or quick moving to a certain chord. So I'm just going to use an example here of maybe coming from a G major bar chord in the 3rd position, going to an open B7 chord. And the way to practice this is to first of all map out your fingers. If you just take just a beat and just have a look at what your fingers are doing to move back and forth between those chords and just try to map out what has to happen with each finger, that can go a long way to making those fingers move a little bit quicker and cleaner. Once you got that, now we're going to put some time to it and just a really simple strum. I'm just going to use all downstrokes and put some time into the equation. Then switch every 4 strums and just isolate that and go back and forth. And you notice I'm going nice and slow. What you're going to need to do is go as slow as you need to in order to keep time to move between those 2 chords. If there's a gap between your strum, for example, and you're stopping the time, you're interrupting the flow in order to get your fingers on there, it means you're practicing it too fast. You need to slow it way down and get it to a tempo, even if it's really slow, to give you time to get on that chord and still keep steady time. Okay, so you're working on your timing, but you're also working on nice, clean chord changes. Lots of repetition at slow speeds. You're going to find some progress that way. All right, the next exercise for 10 minutes is a strum pattern exercise. So maybe you're learning a song and the strum pattern is a little bit weird. You're having trouble getting it. And so the first thing you want to do is slow that way down, and you want to just stay on 1 chord and practice it. So I'm going to just stay on an open G chord. And maybe that strum pattern is something like down, down, up, down, up. Okay, so what we have to do is just map that out nice and slow. Down, down, up, down. Now what really helps here is to have your down ups moving all the time. So you see I've got that motion going, which is easier to keep me in time. It keeps me to stay in time more than just like up, down, that kind of thing. You're not going to have very tight timing doing that. Not very relaxed, smooth, grooving time. So you want to keep this moving down and up and just choose where you're going to hit the strings. Go nice and slow with lots of repetition and just keep it on 1 chord so you don't have to worry about any chord changes and just focus on getting the strum correctly. All right, work on that for 10 minutes, and if you start to feel like you've got it, spend some of that time within that 10-minute chunk and maybe add in a chord change and see if you can keep that strum going while you move between chords. Again, it's okay to slow it way down. It's better that you're doing correctly than doing it faster and not really hitting it properly. All right, final exercise for 5 minutes, another technique exercise. This one's a vibrato exercise. And what you can do is grab a random note. I'm going to grab the 9th fret of the G string. And I'm going to practice a really slow vibrato by just bending that note ever so slightly up and then back down nice and slowly. You can see I have a little bit of a wrist movement here. Okay. Now this is particularly important to some of the newcomers coming to this technique and trying to figure out how to get nice smooth vibrato. Work on it nice and slow with lots of repetition. Okay, you can use this 5 minutes to move it all around the fretboard, different frets, different strings, and of course different fingers. Okay, work on that nice and slow, all over the neck, every string. You're going to see some improvement in that vibrato once you start to speed it up. What other tips would you like to see here on this channel? Please leave a comment and let me know. And be sure to check out guitartricks.com for more in-depth, step-by-step lessons. All right, we'll see you for day 3.